as we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression.
I am, of course, outraged and furious.
Today's report. Greetings, world. We are anonymous. The threat of war between the USA and Iran is not over, and here we tell you why. What's the catch? It is in President Trump's statements after the missile attack on 2 American bases in Iraq from Iran. Listen carefully.
As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, as we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime.
President Trump announced economical sanctions, but not only that, you got it right. Now check what President Trump said today. The government of Iran must allow human rights groups to monitor and report facts from the ground on the ongoing protests by the Iranian people, Trump tweeted in English and Farsi. There cannot be another massacre of peaceful protesters, nor an internet shutdown. The world is watching, end quote. Trump was referencing the Iranian government's crackdown on anti-government protests over a spike in gas prices last November. The government quashed protests by arresting, injuring, and killing protesters and shutting down the country's internet. On a related report, the Iranian government accepted on Friday the blame for the downing of a Ukrainian airliner last Wednesday, sparking protests against the Iranian government's handling of the incident. Here's what Canadian Prime Minister said today on press conference.
Late last night, Iran confirmed that it unintentionally shot down Flight 752. This is an extremely serious matter. Canada and the world still have many questions that must be answered. We need full clarity on how such a horrific tragedy could have occurred. I am, of course, outraged and furious that families across this country are grieving the loss of their loved ones, that all Canadians are shocked and appalled at the senseless loss of life.
Furthermore, on a different note, the United Kingdom ambassador to Iran was arrested and briefly detained by Iranian authorities after attending Saturday's protest. British Foreign Minister Dominic Raab slammed the arrest as a flagrant violation of international law. In a tweet, State Department spokesperson Morgan Ortagus called on the Iranian government to apologize to the British government and to respect the rights of all diplomats. This tells us, regardless of an apparent de-escalation in the conflict, something it's cooking under. The U.S. and allies to retaliate against Iran, this time using their own people protests, as if it was a separate matter not related to war escalation, but as a human rights violation by Iran government that must be stopped by bombing Iran military installations just as it was done previously on Syria. We'll keep you informed of any new development occurs in this heated conflict in the Middle East. Don't forget the world is watching. See you in our next video.